Movie hot take of the day. I don't think the Ford versus Ferrari was a good movie at all. I mean, it looks really good, but what do you expect from like a multi-million main release, right? Blockbuster. Obviously, it's gonna look good, and I think from everything I've read, I know the story is pretty much accurate to what happened in history as well. Although American racing history is not really my focus, but I just thought like the drama in it is so forced. All of it. It's because everything else was pretty good, especially the visuals. But like all of the drama, the character interaction, just so over the top. It feels like something out of like a rom com, or not the good kind. It's more like something you'd see on Netflix for free. And to me personally, just cheapens the movie almost immediately. I don't like it. Um, so click here to unsubscribe. Click here to dislike. Tell me down in the comments how wrong I am, but that's just how I feel. And what you see in front of you is a new Hot Wheels release. Well, new for 2020 at least. I mean, it's almost halfway through the year already, but it's in golf colors. It looks really nice, but one thing I've been noticing is that just how flat it looks, how wide it looks. It's just really not proportional. Obviously, I know this is bigger than a true 164, but still, it's like someone threw a GT40 through a panini machine, just flattened it completely. I've heard about how good the Matchbox version is, and I thought about it, but now I don't really have to think about it ever again because now we have. No, I have the Auto World version. This is a premium release. I think it's called like. Oh, I don't remember. Give me 1 second. It is from the Vintage Racing series, 1965 Ford GT40, although on the box it says Ford GT, which it's GT40. And obviously a 40 in here means, because it's only 40 inches tall, sorry, I'm just adjusting it a little, and 40 inches divided by 64, you get this tiny thing. And this was one of the 3 Miho exclusive released, and the other 2 probably are going to be a bit more famous. One of them was the number 2 black version by Bruce McLaren, who actually won the 1960. Ooh, this is why like I have my laptop around me because I don't remember years that well. Being a history major, you would think. 1960. 1966. That's right. And the other one was the Ford Colors, won by Ken Miles, which came second place. And this one is probably the one that nobody really knows / cares about. This is number 76, and it was one of the early prototypes. It ran in the Daytona 2000 in 1965. But among the 3, this is the only one that is accurate, actually. Because this is a Ford GT40 Mark 1, as it should be. The ones by Ken Miles and Bruce McLaren, they should have been, they were Mark 2s, and Mark 2s have a few differences, and even on the outside, a few that can be easily noticed. One of them being on the back of the car, on the left side, there should be kind of a bump behind the rear window, which there isn't. So, which is a shame because Auto World is usually really good at distinguishing models year to year and and making sure they add extra details to them, but they didn't. So, if you really love the movie Ford versus Ferrari, I'm not gonna judge you. Obviously, I think I'm definitely in the few minority that didn't like it. But if you want to get the Bruce McLaren one, or more likely the Ken Miles version, you might want to know that the models are basically a Mark 1 in a Mark 2 livery, which is weird to me, which is a shame. But if you want to go for like accuracy, this one will be the closer one, but it's not exact either because you see the Goodyear tires on here. As it swings to the other side, I've seen from like at least one image, there should be a Goodyear's logo right here with a bit more other sponsorship stuff. But that's overall very minor to me. This is pretty much the original number 62, which was driven by Bob Bondurant. And what do you get from here? I really, really love this model. I think Auto World, for a Mark 1 at least, really did great. First of all, I mean, it's tiny. Yeah, it's you don't get a lot of lens headlights from Auto World, but you do here, which look really great. Very, very dirty, which is awesome. This is kind of like a post-race version. 72 for good years on the tires. Rubber tires, as you would expect. Windshield wipers. Number 72 roundel. Number 72 roundel on the other side as well. Ford, and the stripes, racing stripes across the top as well. Really, really awesome weathered effect. There's nothing, no inserts on the back side, but this thing is so tiny, I don't expect anyone to be able to do that. And it just looks really great from different kinds of angles. So like the story behind Ford versus Ferrari, kind of like the feud between Ferrari and Ford, I just cannot care about on one hand, because it's just so petty. Basically, it's like two millionaires just having a feud, which is like just how pretty much how entitled and how this is just like, if you talk about like fuck you kind of rich, this is what it was. Because like, man, just pissing contest between two millionaires. So for the movie, I'm very glad that they actually focused on Shelby as well as Kamau, which is a lot more human, but the whole drama within it just, I'm not here to talk about the movie. The model itself is wonderful, wonderful, and I do love the look of the GT40. It's a great looking race car. It's tiny, which is why Jeremy Clarkson can't even fit in one. And if you put it next to the Hot Wheels version, obviously the Hot Wheels version is not designed to be true 164, but I think you can still easily notice that's a bit too wide in my opinion. Way too wide. I think I'm still gonna keep it in my collection for now, but don't really need it. I got the perfect version from Auto World, and if you put it next to, this is the Hot Wheels version of the first generation of the new Ford GT. It's a bit larger. I don't know how accurate this is. I don't have anything else to compare it to. I would like to get a Johnny Lightning version of this. They do a pretty good one. Well, not the racing version, but the stock new Ford GT. But obviously Johnny Lightning doesn't do true 164 either, so I have to do the numbers myself anyway. But this is a Hot Wheels version of the second generation Ford GT, and it looks really good. And size-wise, it is 164, although proportions is not perfect, but it's pretty close. And unfortunately, because it's a $1 model, it doesn't really have the flying buttresses you would find on an actual second generation GT. And this is kind of the problem I have with Hot Wheels, is because I've said this many times, right? Because they still, even when they're working on their premium models, they still have to think about their basic models. So even with the premium ones, they can't really go full premium, because having too many pieces is obviously going to cost money, and they can't replicate it for the $1 releases. So more likely than not, they'll sacrifice the quality and details on their premium models, which is a shame. Same thing for this as well. Now this one has a bit of a negative space under the flying buttresses, but still not a lot. But it's a good looking model, and even though it doesn't really have any negative space, the because it's all painted black, it's not that easy to notice. But the best second generation Ford GT obviously comes from red light, green light, and this is good. And it definitely shows you just how much of a size difference there were. And this is the model that Jeremy Clarkson can't fit under. Well, this one in the first generation Ford GT, although he didn't have a ton of fun driving, let's just put it this way. Number 9, this is the heritage model for a GT. That's why it has the Golf colors, not the specific Golf livery, because you see there's nothing that says Golf. But yeah, it looks really good. This is a great pair next to each other. I would like to see Auto World take on this, well, any of the modern Ford GTs. That would be pretty cool. But overall, I'm very, very happy with this model. Auto World definitely completely knocked it out of the park, especially with the weathering effect. Gorgeous, gorgeous looking model. So I hope you enjoyed this video of the Auto World Vintage Racing Series Miho exclusive Ford GT40 Mark I by Bob Bondurant, number 72, finished third in 1965's Daytona 500. Thank you for watching.